Well, here she is, a beautiful GTX DI, all ready for reassembly. And over here, all the junk parts. The case was all cracked and JB welded, crank was seized. What else? The fuel rail there had been drilled out. That was a mess. So we're going to just go back with all new parts that I've assembled, and we're ready to put this together. This is going to be an accelerated assembly process because you've seen me do this many times over. So I'm just going to do clips of different parts that are completed. And just a quick peek, all gooped up, ready to go. Loctite 5910. Starters on, engine mount, air compressor, flywheel. So here's something interesting. I like to fill this hose up and with two-stroke oil and prime the pump. And I went to grab the plastic fitting that goes around the nut and then inserts here into the oil pump. There isn't one. So we definitely found what the cause of the failure was for sure. And that's why that front cylinder to me looked like this thing had hardly been run after this rebuild that they did, just by the lack of oil on the head. There was nothing. The one that was all damaged. So maybe it had a little bit of oil left in the system. Maybe you got a couple of minutes of running, but that was about it. So at least we know what the failure was. I always like to find a smoking gun, and this one was a big one. So now I got to find that little plastic part. Anyway, interesting. Moving on. And we got us some parts. So the jugs were bored over to 1 millimeter over. That's the max. Got some new pistons, cage bearings, wrist pin, circlips. I got my gasket set ready to go. So the next thing to do is get the pistons in, arrow towards the exhaust. I marked the top and bottom pin location in the piston for the rings, so it's easier to slide them in. Otherwise you can't get them aligned, you can't see what you're doing. So that's the next thing for this baby. A little bit of assembly lube in here. On here, that clip is already in, we'll just put it in. Just put a little bit more inside here. Arrow towards the exhaust. And then try and get a clip in there. And that's the fun part. Show you all the wrestling you do with these things. I like to cover this because these clips go flying. They want to go flying. And that is in. I like to leave a little bit of the ring right there so that you can actually pop it out the next guy. But the next guy who pops it out, it's going to be a smaller piston. Anyway, moving on. I'll get the other one done. Hear that nice click? That means she's in there. And perfect. Cover everything up so your circlip doesn't go in your motor. A little more juice. Now we're good to put the clip on the other side and move on to the top end. Well, this is the top end, but put the cylinders on. And put a little fine seal of Ultra Gray around before I pop the gasket on. It's a number 8 gasket, 8 mil, or 0.8. Good. And then I'm going to do the same. I'll goop the underside of the cylinders and then we'll put her together. So the cylinder bottom there is all gooped up. Oil on the pistons, 2-stroke oil in the bottom of the jugs. Bottom ring right there. Top ring is there. Now we got to hold this thing up in the air, and it's heavy, and you got to hold it with one hand. Make sure you orient it the right way. Exhaust to the back. And we got to try and get these on. And it's just, everything's oily and goopy. And I don't know if I can have you there because I can't reach. Where can I hold this? Top ring, bottom. Top ring, bottom mark. Bottom ring. Bottom ring, so we'll okay, these come right here. Yeah, the bottom ring has got to go. There. No. That's so sleepy. No. That one's always there. Like this one behind. Good. Oh boy. It works. What's going on? Jeez. She's fighting woods. Oh. Come on. Media. It's there. Something a little hard. I'm gonna put a little more goop in the top. Phew. My hand's got so much oil on it I can't hold the PTO. Okay, both arrows are pointing to the exhausts. Now we can put the head bolt or the cylinder bolts on, then the head on, And then we're gonna install it. Bolts going in. Cleaned them all up. Loctite. Just running slow. And they go up to 40. As soon as I pick it up, it shuts off. And the pattern is, yeah, exactly what I was doing. Starting from the inside, work your way out. Make sure roll's good. Oh yeah, nice and easy. Nothing there. It's not gonna impact anything. What next, boys? Double check all around. Yes. Perfect. Top end gasket, where are you? Head gasket. I'm missing 2 dowel pins. Gotta find them. Dowel pins. This guy goes, I don't know, that away. Because it can't go that way, can it? Just to see. So that, oh, it can. It can go both ways, but it leaves a hole there. That's the way she goes, boys. Nice. And a lot of bolts and a lot of Loctite. More. And what do they want for torque? Probably 40, same thing. 40 Nm. What's the pattern? Start on the inside and work your way out, probably. No pattern on that one. Yeah, 40 and that same star pattern. That fit? No. And second last thing is put the raves on. One over on the piston so they grind the raves here so that they don't hit the piston. Because when they hit the piston, it tears up the rings and then you got to rebuild it all over again. Gaskets are on there. Rubber gasket is on there. Ready to go. That one doesn't even want to take the bolt. Now we got to put the exhaust manifold on. Manifold gooped up with the Permatex copper coat. Loctite on the bolts. They go to 40 Nm. Some plywood. I think I'll use that as a workbench. Oh. Little misaligned. Somewhere around there. And the first thing I want to do is hook up the vent underneath the air compressor, which is right there, and it's really hard to get at. And that is on. Next thing I'm going to do is get the vent and water channel pipe right there. That vent's on. Drop her down a bit more. Just going to leave her floating for now. So we can get everything hooked up. All right, current progress. Oil line is hooked up. Water channel is hooked up underneath, and it goes from that channel box that's underneath, comes up around through here to cool the mag and out the back. That's on. Map sensor's on. Air pressure is on. Ground is on. Big ground on the bottom is on. What else we got? Air compressor. This goes to the exhaust. Big one down there, black one off the air compressor goes to the throttle body. This one here goes out the back. And this one is for the exhaust. So I just got to put a clamp on that, and then I'm going to drop this baby down. Lots of pipes. And more progress. Got the front bolt in but loose. Put the back two mount bolts in but loose. And the alignment tool is right there, bolted on there. So I just got to tighten those down, torque them down. And then we are ready for, oh, I got another pipe here for the air compressor and exhaust and throttle body. And we're good to go for a spin. And I want to hurry up because it's nice out. A little greasy. Guess I better clean that up before we do anything else. I think we got it. Battery's in, everything's on. I didn't put the spark plugs on yet. I wanted to roll it over to be sure that it did roll over okay. I got to pressurize the fuel. I guess we could do that right now. 1, 2, 3. So, what do? Roll it over once. I don't want to flood it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in drown mode so it doesn't shoot fuel in, just to be sure nothing's messed up on the Oh, that sounds good. I want to hook it up to the hose, but we'll do a quick water test, or dry test, I guess. That's not in there. Fix that later. Here we go. Oh, got an air leak. Didn't hook up this hose. Knew I heard something. So I gotta hook that up there, and then we should be good to water test. But first start, fired right up and smooth. Pipe is connected. No drive shaft in there, so we don't have to worry about overheating the carbon seal. And the water is hooked up, so I'll turn it on as soon as we get it running. Checking for water leaks. Okay, now I got to put the air box on and button everything up. No leaks. Does not release the air pressure though. We'll have to check that out. There, that. Why is that so delayed? Okay, one thing at a time. All right, pump is on, everything's hooked up. Reverse gate, steering, Opus, your power assist system. That little pipe that's in here for the OPAS system is on. Spring. Everything's ready to go. So here we go to the lake. And we are at the lake. Starting. Maintenance light right away. We did not have that before, so what'd we do? Okay, well that was a waste of time, but an easy fix. Diagnostic cap wasn't on. All right, let's get out of here. All right. Forward. Don't know how old the fuel is, but there's a lot in it. Goes 15 so far, that's good. Uh-oh, she's skipping. end is good, but it's skipping right at 4200, right when the raves go to open. It had a weird hose on there, and I don't know if there's too much expansion in that hose. So maybe we'll check that out. But it's going up to full RPM, so we know the raves are opening. Got a bit of cavitation in there too. Getting worse. Back in the garage, got the Can-Do Pro going. We had cavitation when I would accelerate, and I realized I didn't put the ring on. When I went to put this rubber gasket on, look at it, it fell apart. So, needed a new one of those. Throw that over in the pile. Next thing was, I was getting a maintenance light again, and that weird hesitation. And I had a mag TPS out of range, and when I went in here, one of the and it was actually the PTO clip was not pushed in, so I imagine that was giving us our issues. So now we got to test it out again. More problems. Look at the mag throttle position sensor at 80s. So when I wiggle the wires up here, watch that, those numbers. That connector's messed up. So I got to pull it out, clean it, see if that gets rid of it, but that's definitely what's going on. It's going all over the place. Holy cow, that's loud. Let me pull that connector and we'll have a look. Try and do a little cleanup in there. There's one rusty one down at the bottom I saw. They had deoxit in there. See if that'll get in the holes. I don't know if it will or not. Okay, I'm gonna blow that out with compressed air. So hopefully no glare. 40 and 54. Throttle up. Goes really high numbers though, which is weird. All we can do now is test it again. Let me see if wiggling the wires does anything anymore. Still does. I'm going to clean them some more. Just a little update here. This was supplying air to the raves at all times. Every time you started the engine, there was something wrong with the check valve in the old rave solenoid. Also, when you shut the machine off, it's supposed to cycle and let the pressure out, and it did not. And in the service manual, a typical symptom of raves not functioning correctly on the low end, which is the problem that we're having, is they're saying that there's air going to those raves. So hopefully that's okay, because now when I shut it off, or I shut it off with the button, you'll hear. And now it's cycling, and it wasn't doing that cycle before to let the pressure out. So, and I put a hard line in here. So now we got to test it again to see what we get. And here we are back at the lake again. New solenoid installed. Idling right where we want it to be, between 1450, right around 1450. See what we get. Yeah, seems a lot better. We got her. Yep, that's it. I think we'll call that a win. Send this one down the road. Get into the next one. And there she is, ready to go and running. And runs pretty damn good too. I still suspect that there's something going on, possibly a fuel pump is getting close to the end of its life. It's what, 25 years and it's never been touched in there. If you look inside, everything is original crud. I can show you that. Crud. Look at the gas lines. And that cover was off. So was somebody in there messing before? I don't know. I did an awful lot of diagnosing. So there you have it. You get a simple here. Can you rebuild the motor for me? Sure. But now it doesn't run. So whose responsibility is that? Although I went through and changed the fuel rail and the rave solenoid because it was running so bad, you know, you kind of get sucked into the whole repair thing. But anyway, that one was a mess. We got her pretty good. So I'll keep you posted on how that one works out, but I think we're good to go. So now I am not sure what's next. I think we're going to be doing a Yamaha that just quit, and I know nothing about Yamahas, so let's see what happens. Anyway, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.